The blizzard struck without warning, as it always did on Theos 9. One moment, the twin suns bathed the crystalline valleys in a pale, steady light, and the next, the sky turned a bruised purple. Ice began to fall like shattered glass from the heavens, coating everything in a thick, glittering layer. Nera stood at the edge of the den, her silver fur rippling in the howling wind, her sharp eyes scanning the whiteout. Behind her, the pack huddled together, their four eyes, two forward-facing, two peripheral, glazed with grief. The morning howl had already begun, the ancient song of loss echoing across the frozen peaks and through the hollow caves. 7 cubs, the youngest members of their pack, had ventured out during the brief window of sunlight, chasing the luminescent moths that appeared only twice during the cycle. When the storm had come down, they had been too far to return. Naira had sent 3 scouts, but they had come back with frostburned paws and trembling heads. The temperature had dropped to -7 degrees. Nothing survived out there, not even the Theosi, a species evolved to endure such brutal cold. "The cold has taken them," said VE, his massive frame blocking the wind from the younger members of the pack. His voice was heavy with the weight of loss. Naira's chest tightened. As the pack leader, she had made the agonizing decision to wait out the storm, choosing to preserve the lives of the many rather than risk them all for the few. It was logical. It was necessary. But it was a decision that felt like a wound she could never heal. She opened her mouth to begin the death song, the mournful chant that would guide the spirits of the lost cubs to the afterlife. But then, something moved at the edge of her vision. A figure emerged through the swirling fury of the blizzard. At first, Naira thought it was a trick of the storm, a phantom conjured by grief. But as it drew closer, she realized it was no illusion. A human, wrapped in strange synthetic skins, walked through the blizzard. Steam rose from the human's body, creating an eerie cloud of mist in the cold air. The human's face was obscured by a transparent shield covered in frost. The pack tensed. Humans were rare on Theos 9, and even rarer still were the ones who ventured beyond the research outposts. These humans were fragile creatures with soft skin and only a single pair of forward-facing eyes. They needed machines to breathe the thin air and heated suits to survive the cold. Yet this one walked through a storm that would have killed a Theosi in minutes. The human's voice crackled through a translator at its throat. "I have them," it said. Naira's heart skipped a beat. The figure moved closer, and she could see what it carried on its back. 7 cubs, wrapped in thermal suits, their small bodies still but their chests rising and falling faintly. They were alive. Darren, Naira thought, recognizing the human now. He had been at the outpost for 3 cycles, studying Theosi culture. He had always been respectful, always keeping his distance unless invited closer. The human, now kneeling, carefully began to unwrap the cubs. Their small, cold forms were stiff, but alive. Nera moved forward with urgency, helping to lift the cubs into the warmth of the den. The pack surged around them, gently licking their cold faces, nosing them, offering their warmth in frantic relief. Naira turned to Darren, who had collapsed to his knees, trembling violently. His body, now that he had stopped moving, seemed to be paying the price for the grueling trek through the storm. The pack had brought heated stones from the den's core, placing them around him to warm him up. "You should not have survived that storm," Naira said, her voice soft but heavy with wonder. "Your species, you cannot withstand such cold." Darren laughed, a short, breathless sound. "Yeah, well, humans are stubborn like that." He looked up at her, his eyes fierce with something she couldn't quite understand. "I heard your morning song. I knew what it meant, and I thought I had to try." Naira's confusion deepened. "Why?" The human was quiet for a moment, still shaking with exhaustion. Slowly, he stood, his pain evident in every movement. "On Earth," he said, his voice hoarse, "we have a saying. It takes a village to raise a child. Maybe humans are different because we decided somewhere in our evolution that all children are our children, that their lives matter, whether they share our blood or not." He smiled, exhausted but genuine. "Besides," he continued, "I've gotten to know your pack over the past few months. You've shared your stories with me, your fire, your food. That makes us something like family, doesn't it? Naira felt a tightness in her throat. Family. It was everything to her. The pack was life itself. And yet, here was this human, an outsider, claiming kinship. You honor us, Darren of the humans, Naira said formally, bowing her head, offering the highest gesture of respect she could give. You have proven yourself today. The pack has a saying as well. Those who bleed for the cubs share their blood. You are packed now, if you wish it. Darren's eyes widened, and Naira saw the weight of her office settle on him. To be accepted into a Theosi pack was to be accepted into the heart of their society. It was a bond like no other. Darren looked past Naira at the cubs now warming by the thermal vents, their small forms wriggling and crying for their parents. He looked at the pack, watching him not with suspicion, but with acceptance. Yeah, Darren said softly, I wish it. As the storm continued to rage outside, the pack pressed close together, making space for the human among them. Naira began a different song, a song of life snatched from death's jaws. It was no longer a song of mourning, but one of celebration, of courage, of life, and of the human who had walked through hell and frost to carry their children home. Later, when the storm passed and the story spread across Theos 9, the other packs would hear it with disbelief. They would scoff at the idea of a human surviving the storm, but Naira knew the truth now. She had learned what the galaxy would eventually discover. Humans were not strong because their bodies could withstand anything. They were strong because their hearts refused to let anything less than try. Their strength was in their refusal to abandon those who needed them.